r/AskReddit. Affectionate Way says, what's your scariest experience? Bedreamonbeam 888 says, I was walking home to my shitty ghetto apartment at about 11:30. I was having some family drama at the time and was walking along with my head buried in my phone like an idiot. And suddenly two guys were right on me. One put a gun to my chest and took my things, though he let me rummage through my purse for stuff to give. And the other stood to the side degrading me. After that the mugger told me to walk the other way, so I did. I was so scared they were going to shoot me in the back, but they didn't. I knocked on a random door and they called the police and waited with me for the cops to come. It's been like 7 years since then. It really ed up my life at a pivotal time, unfortunately, and I'm still dealing with the fallout of the poor decisions I made after that incident. Oh well. Nightmare Tonic says, I go on a lot of night walks because I have a nerve disorder that is alleviated by tons of cardio. There are so many people who bury their faces in their phones while they walk around in the dark or in dangerous places, or even when they cross streets. People just assume nothing bad will ever happen to them. I don't know why. Bedreamonbeam 888 says, I definitely did when I was younger. I've lived in rougher areas a lot of my life. When I was 14 to 15 I would go on 2-3 AM night walks often and never had anything bad happen. I don't know how, but it definitely exacerbated the invincibility feeling. All said, I'm now 27 and spend as little time outside by myself at night as possible, let alone with my head in my phone. Better safe than sorry. It's Fish20 says, when my daughter was born my wife had a complication and she started to bleed out really quick. It went from the doctor and 2 nurses in the room to 10+ people and talks of moving her to an OR. Thankfully a nurse knew what was happening and distracted me with having me help clean and get my baby's measurements. I had to sit on the couch and do skin on skin contact while my wife was being saved and getting the bleeding to stop. Those 45 minutes after my daughter was born were so scary because I thought I was going to leave the hospital without my wife. Inner Outer Self 2 says, nothing scarier than a dozen people running into a birthing room. It's usually 2 to 3 people maximum during birth. When everyone comes in, they had a team on standby for one of my kids. I look over and 8 buses all with equipment and grim looks were there ready point, but then the moment passed. My wife never noticed. I peed a little. Other was when one of kids started choking a day after birth and turned purple in my hands. Pulled the emergency cord and boom, nurses just running in to save my kid. Was surreal. Ironian45 says, anywhere in a hospital, if you see all the medical staff rushing to a room, someone is coding. Shadow 948 says, your mom pulls into the driveway after a long day of work and you forgot to do the chores that she gave you in the morning. Frosty Feet says, how to defrost the chicken I was supposed to take out the freezer 7 hours ago in the next 27 seconds. Titanium Cheval says, typing furiously. Microwave frozen chicken safe to eat chicken recipe replacement. What is a portobello? How to calm down my mom living on my own backpack essentials. Local homeless shelters near me. Dark Wombat 42 says, my wife of 28 years has terminal cancer. Every day she gets a little weaker. Every round of chemo is a little harder. We lost 2 biological children as infants early in our marriage. We adopted a wonderful son and daughter 7 years ago. Our son has special needs. Our daughter has trauma from her BO family. They have both been doing so well. My sweet wife is such a good mother. We were so happy. Now I'm losing her. We are losing her. We started dating when I was 18. She was my first girlfriend. Got married right after college. I love her so much, and she's slowly dying, and somehow I have to be enough for our kids when I will only be less than half of a person. I'm living my scariest experience. Every day it is worse. I want to die when my wife does, but I have to live. I have to be here for the kids. I fear every day that I can't be enough for them, that I will fail them and fail my wife. I'm so scared. I dread the rest of my life. I get by with lots of medication, determination, and by there being no other choice. But I'm terrified and shamed by how much less I am than what I need to be. Atomic Angel 77 says, I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you and your kids. My mom passed when I was 16, so I feel this deeply for them. KG 354 says, there is nothing more painful than mourning someone who is still alive. That was, hard to read. Squig says, lightning strike within feet of me. Smelled and sensed a change in the atmosphere, ozone metallic smell, moments prior. I was facing the flash and reeled back blinded and deafened. Fishing is not that important. r/AskReddit. Dexter 296 says, what are some weird pickup lines that actually worked? Big Injury ET says, whoops, I dropped my monster condom that I use for my Magnum darn. Slap that bass bro says, I bet you 20 you don't want to have sex with me. Addictioner me says, you seem to have dropped something there. Oh, it's your standards. Can I buy you a drink? Administrative Pain 57 says, an Aussie man actually used the Australian kiss joke on me and it made me want to hop right into bed with him. Sad Helicopter 2633 says, hey, does this rag smell like chloroform to you? Stalagit 68 says, excuse me. They're sacrificing virgins at midnight and I was wondering if you'd be interested in saving my life. I laughed so hard. Coyote to Mahamiork says, frick me if I'm wrong. But is your name Gertrude? Gullible Function 649 says, I've posted it here before, but I asked a girl her name and she said, frick off, and I replied to Russian. Moonlit Flea says, do you have a map? Because I'm lost in your eyes. Altruistic Gap 3328 says, are you a toaster cause I wanna fking kill myself? Wait, no, I meant I wanna take a bath with you. Existing at 4933 says, from Miss Congeniality, you like me. You wanna date me. Can't believe it worked to this day, and I'm a dude. Mrsunsfanfes equal says, want to get food. Cause I'm hungry. Lololjai says, you wanna come back to my place and watch porn on the flat screen mirror? Bear 172 says, nice shoes, wanna frick? She was barefoot. People get drunk and do stupid shit at Mardi Gras. I mean, barefoot at Mardi Gras is pretty stupid. Or the old standby, hey, you wanna grab a pizza, go back to my place, and, frick, on the box? What's wrong? You don't like pizza? This one has never worked. Brushaluskin says, how's it going, sugar tits? MMW 1775-1975 says, I had a buddy who would walk up to a lady and lean around her and look at her ass. When she would say, what are you doing? He would respond with, I can't believe shit comes out of that thing. He had great success. I, on the other hand, would get slapped in the face. Weedful Things says, I was dragging my kayak onto my truck at an out of the way boat ramp. A woman walked past with a camera, and I think I startled her a bit. She said she was taking pictures and liked it there because not many people use that area. She said something like, I come here to stay away from the perverts. You aren't a pervert, are you? I grinned and replied, only sometimes. I could tell she liked that answer and we chatted for a while. Then before I left, she gave me her phone number. I never called her because I'm happily married, but it was a nice ego boost. Imagine Enchiladas says. Not exactly a pickup line, but it was so cringe and dark I actually laughed me. I'm like a bomb. I'm emotional him, and I'm like an Arab. I love bombs. Sango Suppose says. Hi, how are you? Clossadrew8156 says. Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you. Jeroborn says. I wasn't actually using it as a pickup line, but it unintentionally worked as one. I was getting some food after a night out. After a long day of work and then partying, I was tired, and I gave a big yawn. A woman commented that I sounded tired. I joked that I was just using the cheesy pickup move on her friend, where you fake yawn and stretch, and put your arm around a girl. I was about 21, and she was a mid-40s MILF. I said it completely as a joke. I never thought she would be interested, but she was just recently single, and looking for fun. Lazy Influence 1067 says. If you're here, then where is heaven? Thiring Blanks says. Might not be 12 inches, but it smells like a foot. Isabel Empathy says. I once used the classic "Are you a magician?" Cause whenever I look at you everyone else disappears and it actually got a laugh. Money Requirement 54 says. What's a pretty place like this doing in a girl like you? That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.